Wizzy Whack, Spizzy Spack. You know where it's at. Tune in with the Weather Watcher. Wow.
Oh, you made me upset. Shot myself on that. I should've known this would be bad now. Started things off on a bad note. You said I'm selfish.
You've had a busy year since then, doing lots of features, being involved with a lot of people, doing your own work on the visual, the music side, the graphic side. Who are some people you've been holding close to lately and kind of are beneficial to the local community as far as creatives go?
Well, you, first off, like you've kind of built this whole new segment in the scene that wasn't there. Like bringing back blogs was like something I didn't know I wanted until you brought it back, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Like blogs, like even though maybe not a lot of people like reading blogs or whatever, but just the idea that it's there is like just so cool. And then the whole interview you brought a genius to our scene, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's pretty cool. Jerry Abasco, like he's, ever since the Reno bracket dropped, like he's been super hardcore in the scene. Everybody has worked with him at least a couple times. Like he's very much been a pillar in terms of like photography around here and just being at events. Same with Bozzy. Bozzy's super hard. Like again, like they are guys like you two. They are guys who like set a foundation around artists to have more exposure for themselves and be the label of our city, kind of like as a collective. But ZP obviously, like if you haven't been here long enough, you're not really like a Reno artist if you don't know ZP or Savvy. Savvy's cool sometimes. Jimmy's coming up. I love Jimmy. I put him in this world. You heard this, Jimmy. I put you on. He's gonna hate me. He's gonna message me for that one. But Hellbred, Get Money, Herbalist, like they're all like OGs in it. Yeah, no, they all been working like super hard, been deep in it. And Dan Hubbard, like everybody knows Dan Hubbard. Dan Hubbard's like almost the godfather around here. Rest in peace, Jub Jubs, because that place was gonna be huge if it wasn't for the pandemic. You know, fuck COVID, dude. Because that place would have been so huge by now if COVID did not happen. It's super sad, but you know, man, there's like honestly, especially now, there's like too many people to name off. But I remember 10 years ago when I was in high school, the scene used to be so toxic now, and I feel like, you know what I'm talking about? Yes, because if you've been here long enough, like scene 10 years ago, like everybody hated each other, nobody supported anybody, people were fighting all the time. Yep, straight up, people were fighting all the time. Travis Wayne will tell you anything about that because he was also doing music back then. And now it's like so supportive, like everybody fucks with everybody, and like it's a beautiful thing to see that now. Like, yeah, it's super crazy. So I'm glad I came back at this time than to have probably stuck it out back then, because anybody who made music back then was trying to leave this town, go to Cali. Though Cali's a spot. Now we are our own system, so it's super sick. We're in like a renaissance of our era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of keep it in the city, building within the city.
Yeah, because now people like see the potential. How many great artists are coming in now? It's just like,
I've noticed a lot of out-of-towners making this way to come mess with the scene as well.
Yeah, because a lot of people like 2 years ago were like, oh, I'm trying to leave this town, but ever since the whole Tesla thing and everybody started moving in, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a mecca soon, and we are the pillars in here. If we start now, as 5 years from now, bro, this place is gonna be a metropolis, and like we're gonna be the founders of it in terms of like the scene. So I'm like, yo, this is the best time.
Oh, perfect time to get on in.
Yeah, perfect time, dude.
So since this last year, pandemic, everyone was locked down, people were figuring out their lives again. You kept your head down and working. What can you say about the releases you put out this year? If you want to name a couple, some of your favorite, what do people need to know about recent Stu J?
So January 1st of 2021 was Come By. Yeah, so Come By, shout out to Steezy Bob, Tommy, that's the boy. Brock Kilted is the one that did the guitar solo. We did that over at, I literally met them on January 1st. I recorded everything, dropped the music video and the song on the 7th. And that whole year we did nothing. I met them immediately. We did like this whole track together, and we're like, yo, we're gonna work hard. I love those guys. Like when we hit together, like this is probably like the most like the proudest thing that I've ever made, because it's like an homage to like the music my dad loved. So, and he was an old guitar head. So like I know if he was alive right now, he would love that shit. And Excited came out this year.
That was a cool one.
My project More Than Lust came out. I know there's like Dead Feelings. This was honestly, there's so much music that came out. I just dropped a song with Sinclair, To Myself. There's so much music that came out this year. Honestly, it was like an upgrade from last year. But last year was like my best music then. It was funny, like the pandemic made everybody make way better music. So now we're dealing with the after effects of that. But I'm trying to think of like other songs that I made. Shout out to Jimmy for making the cover for Excited. It was Come By, Excited, Dead Feelings, and then More Than Lust dropped. And that was pretty much it. Yeah, I only dropped one project this year. Goddamn.
Yeah, and it's a solid project. I still listen to that, and it's amazing that, you know, you put out the initial 4 tracks or 5 tracks, and you went ahead and put the deluxe with the 4 more tracks. What can you say about your reason for that? Was that something you intended, or was that something based off the reception of the first half?
So, the later 4 songs of that, most of those were supposed to be on Bad Nostalgia. That I was like, these don't really fit the vibe or whatever, so I was gonna toss them. Those songs were like probably not gonna be released ever, but I was like, nah, these are good enough. Honestly, because like, what was the one song? Sario, like that's my favorite hook I've ever made in my life. Like people are like, oh, verse is wonky on that, but I love that hook on that, and I was like, I would hate myself if I never released Sario or Midnight and stuff like that. So like the initial 5 songs, that's like what More Than Less was just gonna be, and then the other ones are just bonus tracks, because I'm like, and I made that decision the day of releasing. So I'm like, I look back, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just make it more, because it also sounds like they're not supposed to be on the first half, like Stuck in Reno, like that pop punk song.
Yeah.
That's something that, like, everybody loved from me when I made a snippet of it, and they're like, when are you gonna release that? I'm like, I mean, it's so not my brand, but like it's a really good song. So that's just something for like the people who love those snippets that I made.
People appreciate everything you do.
Yeah, because I didn't want to not release those.
I'll get that one stuck in my head. Definitely worth it. Paid off for sure.
Thank you.
Definitely. Well,
appreciate it.
Enough of old stuff. What can we say about new? Is there anything that you can announce today or reference that's coming up, or anything you just want to plug?
So the Heroin, obviously I wanted that to come out in October of this year, but again, it's a collab album, and I wasn't so adamant on getting everybody on it, but I want that to be like my biggest like conglomerate kind of album. I want Tears of Blood 2 to come out this year. I'm really super adamant about that. Like that's the album most people know me for, and that's the one people love the most, and I want that to be like, if I'm ever coming in my hardest, it's gonna be Tears of Blood 2. So I definitely want that to come out this next year coming in, so 2022. But besides like those 2 projects, like I really wanna be about like dropping singles every 2 weeks or a month, because I know I'm like super inconsistent with dropping songs. But one thing I've noticed from the past 2 years, like 2020, 2021, is like once you start gaining momentum, it's best to just keep that momentum, because more people listen. They're like, oh, this guy's working, and they want to work with you. And then when you slow down, people slow down coming to you, and I've noticed that. And it's like, if I really want to push myself, even though like when you're dropping that much, it's like not everybody's gonna listen, but like the people who care a lot are gonna listen, and they're gonna be like, yo, he's dropping music all the time. And that's something me and ZP, shout out to ZP, have talked about. Also shout out to Sinful Bat, Cynthia. I have to shout her out, because she's like in most of my music videos, and she's like the first like model who like really like loved the vision that I had, and because it's so hard to get models out here if you're not paying like a lot. And I mean, I respect that, that's what it is, but shout out to Sinful Bad, I had to say that one. But yeah, biggest things is the heroin and Cheers to Blood 2, and just dropping music consistently. Because one thing I've realized with losing a lot of my footage, computer problems, we won't talk about that now, but is that like if I sit on projects too long, you know, something might happen, they'll be gone. And I'd rather have like a song that I feel like 70% is up there than for it to be gone forever. So, but yeah, To the Blood 2, The Heroin, bunch of singles coming out, bunch of collabs. Yeah. Also a collab album with Jimmy Teflon. Yeah, it's gonna be a Western theme, like drill traps. So that also too, produced by Bozzy. Shout out to Bozzy.
You did us with some heavy exclusive news right there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff. Hopefully I can keep up with all that shit, but try to be better.
We're gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, hold me to that shit. I need it.
I want to let them know any other shows you may be involved with outside of music.
There's a lot of shows in the works, but no dates. So it's just like a lot of it comes as soon as I get it kind of deal. So, but there's definitely gonna be way more shows. A lot of people around the scene are trying to set up events of their own. Like it used to be like everybody would wait for events, and now a lot of people are being way more proactive. And I'm the first on a bunch of lists, so be prepared for a lot of shows.
Yeah. Podcast too.
Yeah, there we go. Blueprint Podcast. I'm the host of Blueprint Podcast with Jimmy Teflon and JK the Visual. Also, Cheers Mates Podcast with Unguided and Jimmy Teflon. That might still be a thing going on at this date. I don't know. But I don't know. There's too much stuff going on. Check the socials at Stu J The Vamp, all one word, on it, pretty much anything. You can find me on YouTube, IG, Facebook, TikTok, whatever.
Now, yeah, before we get up out of here, is there any message you want to leave for the people? Any words of wisdom you want to leave? Important news from Stu J The Vamp.
Don't be bitching. Believe in yourself. No one else will. And everyone will believe once you make it a reality. And it's going to be a reality if you say so. If you live in a good country, I don't know. But, yeah.
Good job, man.
But keep pushing, man.
Oh, yeah. We're going to link up next time, get some more from you.
Thank you, man. Thank y'all so much for like everything. I wouldn't be in the position I'm at or know as many people if it weren't for the people I know. So, like, you know, you do a lot of work for yourself, but it really is like who you know most of the times. So, you know, be as cool to as many people as you can, and you never know who people are gonna become within a year. Like, you weren't doing this like, you know, a year and a half ago. So, and now look at you. You don't know. So,
yeah.
Stay cool, y'all.
Appreciate you. Stu J The Vamp, Weather Watcher.
Fuck up.
Till next time.
Weather Watcher.
Yay!
All on me. I really need some indica to feel my needs. These rappers out here faking, that's all we see. They looking like replacements, the squad been G. Been at this shit for years, so we do it with ease. Showing love to peers while they jocking the steez. You shit about the drop, so haters get on your knees. This shit will never stop, they better get up to speed, yeah.